The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Council headquarters loomed over the human delegation. As they stepped from their shuttle, the structure stretched nearly a mile high, its translucent walls shimmering with colors no human eye had seen before. Ambassador Kate Harper took a deep breath, steadying herself before the most important diplomatic mission in human history. Behind her stood 4 other humans, selected for their brilliant minds and unshakable composure. Dr. Abby Foster, the xenobiologist, Major Diane Wells, the military strategist, Professor Liz Taylor, the linguistic expert, and Sam Rodriguez, the cultural specialist. They represented the best of humanity, but still felt small beneath the massive alien architecture. A tall, thin alien, with pale blue skin, approached the delegation, its forearms moving in perfect synchronization as it gestured toward the entrance. "Welcome, representatives of Earth. I am Moros, your guide. The Council awaits your arrival." Kate nodded, her expression revealing nothing of her inner tension. "How many species will be present today?" Moros tilted its elongated head, all 112 governing members plus observers from 230 minor worlds. "This is the first full assembly, called for a species introduction in over 3 centuries. Sam whispered to Kate, "They really rolled out the red carpet or the execution platform," muttered Diane, her military training making her suspicious of the grand welcome. The human delegation followed Moros through towering doors into an antechamber where other alien species waited, some humanoid, others defying description entirely. Kate recognized none of them, despite the extensive briefing files Earth had received since first contact. 6 months ago, Moros led them to a small alcove to wait for the formal announcement. The council chamber beyond remained hidden behind ornate doors. Kate used these precious minutes to center herself, remembering the instructions from Earth Command. Remain confident but humble, assert human rights but show respect, and above all, reveal nothing of their secret weapon. The alcove doors slid open, revealing the true scale of the council chamber. A vast amphitheater with hundreds of platforms floating, at different heights, each holding representatives of member species. The chamber stretched upward seemingly endlessly, with transparent walkways connecting different sections, while holographic displays flickered throughout the space. "This way, please," Morrow said, guiding them to a small platform near the center. The moment the human stepped onto it, the platform detached from the floor and rose gently into the air, positioning itself at the focus of all attention. A deep resonant tone echoed through the chamber, silencing all conversation. A massive hologram appeared above the central dais, showing the image of Earth, slowly rotating. "Representatives of species 7214. Designation humans of Earth. The Galactic Council welcomes you." The voice came from a being seated on the highest platform, its form obscured by a shimmer of light. "I am High Counselor Vex, speaker for the combined worlds. The Council has assembled to assess your species for classification and potential membership." Kate stepped forward, her posture straight and her voice steady. "Earth thanks the Council for this opportunity. We come in peace, seeking friendship," and knowledge murmurs rippled through the chamber, some dismissive, some curious. A large reptilian being on a nearby platform leaned forward. "Humans, your species has barely achieved interstellar communication, yet you presume to seek Council membership. Most species wait millennia before such consideration." Kate kept her expression neutral. "We seek only fair evaluation." "Counselor Fair." Evaluation, came a rasping voice from a gaseous entity floating in a containment field. "Your species has a documented history of internal warfare, resource depletion, and environmental negligence. What guarantees can you provide that such behavior will not extend beyond your world?" Kate felt the weight of hundreds of alien eyes studying her, analyzing every micro-expression, all waiting for her response. "High Counselor Vex, if I may," she began. "Earth has indeed struggled with conflict throughout our history. But each challenge has taught us valuable lessons. We have united our world governments, established peaceful cooperation, and developed technologies to heal our planet." A ripple of skeptical sounds echoed through the chamber. Vex raised a limb, silencing the assembly. "Continue." Ambassador Kate gestured to her team. "These representatives exemplify human diversity and specialized knowledge qualities that have enabled our rapid advancement from planetary to interstellar awareness in less than 3 centuries. An insectoid being chittered loudly. 3 centuries is nothing in cosmic time. Human, even the shortest-lived council species, measures existence in millennia. Your perspective is limited by your brief lifespans. Kate smiled. Slightly that perspective. Counselor may be our greatest strength. The chamber grew quiet. Humans perceive time differently. Kate continued, our brief lives give us unique insights. We see patterns others might miss over longer time frames. We adapt quickly, because we must, and we value each moment, because our time is precious. Vex leaned forward, intrigued. Explain how this benefits the council. Human, before Kate could answer. Warning lights flashed throughout the chamber and emergency signals sounded. A holographic display appeared showing a massive fleet of unknown vessels emerging from hyperspace near the council station breach. In Sector 7, security protocols compromised. Announced an automated system. The council erupted in chaos silence. Ordered Vex, the protective shields activated around each delegation platform. Station security identify the intruders. The security chief, a hulking crystalline being, stepped forward. Counselors, we are facing a coordinated attack by the Dracon Collective. They have bypassed our outer defenses and disabled communication arrays. We are cut off from reinforcements. Panic spread through the chamber as delegates shouted questions and demands. Kate exchanged glances with her team. This was unexpected high. Counselor Kate called out, Earth may be able to assist. Vex turned toward her. What could humans possibly offer in this crisis? Kate nodded to Liz, who activated a small device. Our shuttle contains an experimental quantum communication array that operates. Outside standard subspace channels, we can contact our defense fleet stationed at the edge of your system. Impossible, declared the security chief. Your technology cannot match ours. Kate remained calm. Your technology is precisely why you are vulnerable. Now the Draken clearly studied and countered your communication systems. Ours functions on entirely different principles. Tense. Silence fell over the chamber as Vex considered the offer. The Draken Collective had long threatened council space, but never dared a direct assault on headquarters. The security chief grudgingly admitted, our systems are compromised. We cannot reach our defense fleets. Vex nodded to Kate. Proceed. Ambassador, Diane stepped forward, activating their emergency protocols. Within minutes, the human shuttle had established contact with the Earth vessels waiting at the system. Edge, the Dracon ships have surrounded the station. Major Diane reported to the council based on their formation. They plan to disable rather than destroy. They want hostages, and what can your primitive vessels do against the collective? Vex asked. Kate smiled. Then not much in direct combat. Hi, Counselor, but our ships carry a unique advantage. She turned to Sam, who explained. The Dracon rely on a highly sophisticated AI network to coordinate their attacks. We detected their command frequencies during our approach and developed a targeted disruption pulse. It won't destroy their ships, but it will temporarily disable their coordination, giving your security forces time to reactivate your defenses. Vex studied the humans with new interest. You prepared this countermeasure before even arriving at council space. Kate met the High Counselor's gaze evenly. Earth believes in being prepared for all contingencies. Counselor, in our brief history we've learned that peace works best when backed by strength. Added Diane. Vex conferred briefly with other senior council members, then nodded. Implement your strategy, human. Within 30 minutes the human ships had deployed their disruption pulse. The Draken fleet fell into disarray as their networked systems failed. Council security forces quickly regained control of the station and dispatched the remaining attackers. As order returned to the chamber, the mood had shifted perceptibly. The dismissive glances were replaced with curious and respectful assessment. High Counselor Vex addressed the assembly. The Council acknowledges the assistance of Earth in this crisis. It appears our evaluation of humanity requires deeper consideration. Kate stepped forward. Our brief lives give us unique perspectives. High Counselor, we see patterns, prepare for contingencies, and value cooperation because we understand how precious time truly is. Earth does not ask for special treatment, only fair consideration. Vex nodded. The Council will continue your assessment. Ambassador, with today's events given appropriate weight as Kate and her team were escorted back to their quarters. Abby whispered, that went better than expected. Kate smiled slightly. We showed them who we are today, adaptable, prepared, and willing to help even those who underestimate us. The real negotiation begins tomorrow. Somewhere in the vast council chamber, decisions were already being made about Earth's future, decisions that would forever change humanity's place among the stars. The cavernous chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as the small human delegation entered through the towering archway of living metal. The first humans ever to stand before the assembled might of the galaxy's ruling powers. Ambassador Laura Wilson walked with measured steps, her face betraying none of the awe she felt at the spectacle before her. Surrounding them in a vast amphitheater sat representatives from over 800 species, each occupying their own environmental bubble, or adaptation pod. Some breathed methane. Others existed as pure energy forms, while still others resembled nothing humanity had ever imagined above them all. A massive holographic representation of the known galaxy. Slowly rotated stars and systems, lighting up to mark council territories. Welcome humans, said a voice that seemed to resonate from everywhere and nowhere. We are the combined voice of the council. The ruling body of civilized space. Your species has been summoned to answer for your transgressions. Laura straightened her shoulders, glancing briefly at her team. Dr. Marcus Gray, the xenobiologist, Commander Fiona Reed, the military liaison, and Ben Howard, the diplomatic strategist, all had been chosen for their unflappable nature. All now looked tense. What transgressions does the council believe humanity has committed? Laura asked, her voice clear and steady. The holographic galaxy zoomed to focus on a small spiral arm, where Earth resided, a single blue dot among millions. A glowing red boundary appeared around several neighboring star systems. You have violated Treaty Zone 417, established 14,000 years before your species achieved spaceflight, said the voice. Your colony ships have entered protected space breaking. Ancient covenants. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Some hostile, some merely curious. The human delegation exchanged quick glances. This was not what they had expected. A massive being rose from the central platform, its body an intricate latticework of crystalline structures catching light in hypnotic patterns. I am Supreme Arbiter Noro. The crystal entity announced. My species has administered Treaty Zone 417 since before humans walked upright. Your ignorance does not excuse your trespass. The penalty is forfeiture of all interstellar rights for 1,000 years. Gasps and whispers erupted throughout the chamber. Such punishment would effectively end humanity's brief venture into the stars, confining them to their home system, while the rest of the galaxy developed around them. Laura stepped forward respectfully. Supreme Arbiter, humanity was unaware of this treaty zone when we established outposts in those systems. Our deep space scans showed no signs of claim markers or boundary. Beacons lies, roared a massive reptilian delegate from a platform to the right. All treaty zones are clearly marked according to Galactic Standard Protocol Section 47. Laura nodded to Ben, who activated a holographic display from their data pad showing the star systems in question. These are our sensor logs from initial exploration missions, she explained. I invite the Council to examine them thoroughly. No markers were present when we arrived. Noro's crystalline form shimmered with what might have been agitation. The markers are quantum-locked to specific dimensional frequencies. All spacefaring species are provided access codes. Upon first contact, Commander Reed stepped forward with respect. Arbiter humanity never received such codes. Our first contact was with the Meridian trading fleet. Not with formal council representatives. We were told nothing of restricted zones or access protocols. A flurry of confused conversations erupted throughout the chamber. Supreme Arbiter Noro turned toward a group of delegates with feathered crests and narrow snouts. The Meridians shifted uncomfortably. Is this true? Demanded Noro. Did your people fail to follow first contact protocols with the humans? The Meridian representative rose a nervous flutter. Running through its feathers, the humans showed promise as trading partners. Supreme Arbiter, we saw no need to burden them with complex political realities so early in their development. Outrageous, cried multiple voices from the assembly. Laura hid, her surprise at this revelation maintaining her professional demeanor, while Ben whispered this explains so much about our past dealings with the Meridiansa. Tall, willowy being with luminescent skin approached the central platform. I am Counselor Ella of the Luminari, the humans cannot be held accountable for information deliberately withheld from them. The fault lies with the Meridians who sought to manipulate a developing species for their own gain. The Meridian representative hissed in protest. We merely simplified matters for primitive minds. Laura stepped forward, grateful for the unexpected support. Thank you, Counselor Ela. Humanity came here today prepared to make amends for any unintentional violations, but we cannot accept punishment for actions taken in good faith based on the information available to us. Noro's crystalline form pulsed with light. Supreme Arbiter considers this argument valid, but resolution remains necessary. The Ardothian colonies in Zone 417 were displaced. By your settlements, this was news to the human delegation. Laura exchanged concerned glances with her team. We were unaware of any displaced colonies. Our scouts found uninhabited worlds. A furious rumbling emerged from a shadowy alcove as a massive being emerged resembling a mountain of living stone. The Ardothian ambassador radiated fury. You knew our hibernation cycle left our worlds temporarily vacant. You exploited this knowledge. Realization dawned on Laura's face. The Meridians, I believe. They failed to inform us of this as well. Turning to face the Meridian delegation directly, did you know of the Ardothian hibernation cycles when you directed us toward those specific star systems? The chamber fell silent. All attention focused on the increasingly uncomfortable Meridian representative's Counselor Ela's luminescent skin flashed in patterns that suggested intense emotion. The truth will be known, she announced, producing a small device that projected a field of shimmering energy throughout the chamber. The luminary truth field reveals deception. Speak plainly. Meridian, did you deliberately guide humans to Ardothian world? Strapped in the truth field, the Meridian representative's feathers drooped. The Ardothians control valuable thorium deposits in Zone 417. The humans provided an opportunity to disrupt that monopoly. Without direct Meridian involvement, shocked murmurs rippled through the assembly. Laura stepped into the center of the chamber, her voice firm. Supreme Arbiter, Noro, members of the Council, humanity has been used as an unwitting pawn in galactic politics. We acted on information provided by a Council race who deliberately misled us for their own gain. We are prepared to negotiate a fair resolution with the Ardothians, but we reject any punishment for actions we took in good faith. The Ardothian representative rumbled forward. Humans, you built settlements on worlds where my people have hibernated for 20,000 cycles. Dr. Gray finally spoke. Addressing the stone-like being directly, ambassador, with respect, our scientists have documented that human settlements occupy less than 0.02% of the surface area of these worlds. We have disturbed no hibernation chambers we built on uninhabited regions, believing them unclaimed. The Ardothian paused. Processing this information. Your data is accurate, he admitted after consulting a device embedded in his stony form. Laura saw an opening for diplomacy. Ambassador, perhaps there is an opportunity. Here, rather than conflict, our peoples could form a cooperative arrangement. Humans could maintain surface settlements while respecting Ardothian sovereignty and hibernation cycles. We could even provide security for your hibernation chambers during sleep cycles. The Ardothian rumbled thoughtfully. Our people require little surface territory, and human technology might provide additional protection against claim jumpers during our vulnerable periods. Supreme Arbiter Noro's crystalline form brightened. This solution has merit, Laura continued. We would also welcome Council oversight and formal treaty recognition to prevent any future misunderstandings. The tension in the chamber noticeably decreased as delegates considered this unexpected turn toward diplomacy. Several council members nodded in approval. Counselor Ella moved to the center of the chamber. The Luminari support. This approach, humans have demonstrated wisdom and flexibility uncommon in new species. The massive hologram of the galaxy shifted focus again, highlighting the human Earth and the disputed systems. This matter reveals systemic failures in Council protocols. Supreme Arbiter, the Meridian violation of first contact procedures has endangered interspecies relations and nearly caused significant diplomatic harm. Noro turned toward the Meridian delegation. Your trade privileges within Treaty Zone 417 are suspended, pending full investigation. The truth field has revealed your deception. Laura maintained her diplomatic composure even, as Ben whispered our first major galactic victory beside her. Supreme Arbiter Noro addressed the human delegation. Earth Representative Laura Wilson, the Council acknowledges that humanity acted without malice or knowledge of violation. A formal delegation will be assigned to establish proper diplomatic channels between your species, the Council and the Ardothians. No penalties will be assessed against Earth relief washed through the human team, though they maintained professional expressions. The Supreme Arbiter continued, however, we must address the treaty zone violations. Your settlements may remain with Ardothian permission, but Earth must agree to full compliance with Council regulations moving forward. Lao. The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber swung open with ominous precision, revealing a cavernous hall that seemed to stretch beyond human comprehension. Ambassador Alice Morgan stepped forward, her shoulders square, despite the weight of responsibility crushing down upon her. She led a small delegation of 4 humans, the first of their kind, to stand before the most powerful governing body in known space. The chamber itself defied earthly architecture with gravity-defying platforms, floating at various heights, each occupied by representatives of different species, some vaguely humanoid, others utterly alien in form. The walls pulsed with living light, while the ceiling displayed a perfect real-time representation of the galaxy, slowly rotating overhead with thousands of worlds marked as Council territory. Earth, a tiny, insignificant dot on the outer rim. You stand accused, began a booming voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. We are the unified voice of the Council. All decisions here are binding throughout civilized space. Alice swallowed hard but kept her expression neutral. Beside her stood General Paul Wilson, representing Earth's military interests. Dr. Emma Wright, the foremost xenobiologist on their planet, Nate Reynolds, their cultural expert, and Tyler Brooks, their chief negotiator, all chosen for their brilliance under pressure, all now feeling the enormity of what they faced. The central platform illuminated, revealing 3 beings of distinctly different species, the Council triumvirate who would decide Earth's fate. The first, a tall, willowy creature with iridescent skin that shifted colors with its emotions. The second, a massive crystalline entity that refracted light in hypnotic patterns. And the third, a being composed primarily of swirling gases contained within a specialized environmental suit. The charge against Earth is grave, said the crystalline being. Your species has developed and deployed quantum manipulation technology in violation of Galactic Ordinance 7329, established 10,000 years before your civilization achieved spaceflight. Murmurs rippled through the chamber, many hostile, some merely curious. Alice fought to keep her breathing steady. We were unaware of any such ordinance, Alice stated clearly. Earth has had no formal contact with the Galactic Council prior to receiving your summons 3 weeks ago. Ignorance does not excuse violation, intoned the gaseous being, its voice sounding like wind through chimes. The technology you call the dimensional fold drive contains elements specifically prohibited throughout Council space. Alice glanced at Emma, who stepped forward respectfully, with permission. Our scientific understanding of quantum physics, developed independently on Earth, we had no knowledge of any prohibition. The willowy alien leaned forward, its skin pulsing red and orange. The prohibition exists to prevent catastrophic damage to the fabric of reality. Your experiments have already created 3 detectable fractures in space-time near your solar system. Alice felt her blood run cold. They knew about the incidents. Those had been classified at the highest levels of Earth. Government. General Wilson cleared his throat. Those events were contained and research protocols adjusted accordingly. Contained, scoffed a voice from one of the floating platforms. A squat reptilian delegate rose, pointing an accusing appendage. The humans play with forces beyond their comprehension. One miscalculation could unravel reality across multiple sectors. The chamber erupted in alarmed conversations, various species calling for immediate sanctions against Earth, some even suggesting quarantine of the entire solar system. Silence commanded the crystalline triumvirate. The chamber quieted instantly. Earth's representative may continue. Alice nodded gratefully, though her heart raced. We acknowledged that our early experiments had unforeseen consequences, but we have since refined our approach. The technology now operates within safe parameters. The gaseous triumvirate expanded slightly within its containment field. Safe, by whose definition human your species has existed for a mere moment in cosmic time. Yet you presume to declare what is safe regarding quantum manipulation. A new voice joined the discussion as a small delegate floated forward on a hovering platform, this one appearing almost like a jellyfish made of living light. I am Observer, Zin of the Eternals. Our species has studied quantum physics for 7 million of your years, and even we approached dimensional technology with extreme caution. The human delegation exchanged concerned glances. This was not going well. Yet the Observer continued. There is something unique in the human. Approach something we have not seen before. The chamber grew quiet. All attention focused on the luminous being. Nate stepped forward. Ambassador Zin, could you elaborate? The Observer pulsed gently. Humans have integrated biological neural patterns into your quantum calculations, a technique. No other species has attempted it. Creates unpredictable but fascinating results. Dr. Wright nodded excitedly. Our scientists discovered that quantum particles respond to consciousness in ways that mathematical models alone cannot predict. Heresy, shouted the reptilian delegate. Such integration violates the natural order, perhaps countered Observer Zin, or perhaps it represents evolution. The prohibition was established before any species discovered the neural quantum connection. The triumvirate conferred silently for several moments while the chamber buzzed with debate. Finally, the willowy alien raised a slender limb for silence. Earth faces two options. It announced: 1, surrender, all quantum manipulation, technology for dismantling under council supervision, or 2, submit to complete quarantine for 500 years, until your civilization reaches appropriate maturity. Alice felt a chill run through her. Either option would effectively end humanity's expansion into space, and surrender of the technology would set their development back by decades. With respect, Alice began, we propose a third option. The room filled with shocked murmurs at her audacity. Tyler stepped forward, smoothly activating a holographic display. What you see here, Tyler explained, is our proposal for a joint research initiative. Earth would share its neural integration techniques under the supervision of qualified council scientists, particularly the Eternals, who possess the experience to ensure safety. Observer Zin pulsed with interest. Elaborate human. Our approach offers benefits previously thought impossible. Continued Tyler. Stable micro wormholes for communication, instantaneous data transfer without traditional subspace limitations, and potentially new insights into reality itself. Impossible, declared the reptilian delegate. The humans seek only to avoid punishment. Alice addressed the triumvirate directly. We seek partnership, not absolution. Earth is willing to accept restrictions and oversight, but total surrender or isolation serves neither humanity nor the council. The crystalline triumvirate glittered intensely. What guarantees can you offer that further research will not cause greater damage? General Wilson stepped forward. We propose a containment system developed jointly with council engineers. Any experiments would be conducted in isolated space away from populated systems with multiple redundant safeguards. The gaseous triumvirate swirled thoughtfully. The proposal has merit, but requires significant trust in an unproven species. Observer Zin floated closer to the central platform. The Eternals would be willing to oversee such a collaboration. We have long sought new perspectives on quantum reality. Willowy Triumvir's skin shifted to deep blue, signaling contemplation. The Council has not faced such a situation in 17,000 years, a species developing prohibited technology independently, yet offering genuine innovation. Alice recognized the critical moment human diplomacy had reached and spoke from the heart. We stand at a crossroads. Honored triumvirate humanity is young and imperfect, but we offer a genuine desire to learn and contribute to galactic knowledge. We do not ask for unrestricted freedom, but for the opportunity to prove our worth under appropriate guidance. Silence fell over the chamber as the triumvirate communed privately. Their decision would alter the course of human history forever. After several tense minutes, the crystalline being spoke. Earth will not be quarantined, it announced, nor will complete surrender of technology be required. Instead, we propose a probationary period of 50 years during which all quantum research will be conducted under direct Council supervision at a designated facility in neutral space relief washed over the human delegation, though they maintained composed expressions, furthermore continued the willowy triumvir. Earth will be assigned a Council Advisory Committee to guide your species through integration with galactic civilization and laws. Your expansion will be limited to designated sectors until the probationary period ends. Alice bowed respectfully. Earth accepts these terms and welcomes the guidance of the Council. The gaseous triumvir added one final condition: observer Zin and a team of eternal scientists will establish permanent residence on Earth to monitor compliance and facilitate knowledge exchange. Earth would be under observation. But the terms were far better than the alternatives. Alice nodded. We welcome the Eternals to Earth as the formal proceedings concluded, and the human delegation was escorted to diplomatic quarters. Tyler whispered, we just went from facing extinction to gaining. The most advanced mentors in the galaxy. Alice allowed herself a small smile. Sometimes the best defense is genuine cooperation, she replied, but remained concerned. This is only the beginning. The real challenge will be implementing these terms back. Home somewhere in the council chamber, observer Zin communed with fellow Eternals, their luminous bodies pulsing with excitement. For the first time in millions of years, they had Enko. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council stretched before Ambassador Olivia Taylor like an ocean of alien faces and forms. Thousands of different species representatives perched on gravity platforms that floated at various heights throughout the cavernous space. The vaulted ceiling projected a real-time map of the known universe with Council territories highlighted in blue, while disputed regions glowed an ominous red. Olivia stood alone on the central platform, her dark skin contrasting with the white diplomatic uniform of Earth Alliance. She fought to keep her breathing steady, knowing that billions of human lives depended on what happened in the next few hours. Humans of Earth. The Council Overseer announced, its voice resonating throughout the chamber without seeming to come from any particular direction. You stand before this body accused of violating the Armistice Treaty of the 7th Galactic Compact. Your unauthorized military actions in the Proxima sector have destabilized a peace that stood for 12,000 years. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Most hostile, Olivia noted with growing concern. The Earth Alliance was barely 50 years into space, and already facing potential sanctions that could cripple their expansion. Overseer Olivia began, her voice clear and measured. Earth acknowledges the gravity of these proceedings, but maintains that our actions were defensive in nature. The Vrel incursions into Earth colonial space. Silence. Human interrupted a massive crystalline being that hovered near the center of the room, its faceted body catching and refracting light in hypnotic patterns. I am High Judge Zorix of the Ancient Consortium. You will speak when questioned. You will answer what is asked. Nothing more. Olivia bowed respectfully, understanding the diplomatic protocols but inwardly seething at the unfairness of the proceedings. Earth had received no formal briefing, no legal representation, and barely 12 hours' notice before being summoned to Council headquarters, a journey that should have taken weeks compressed into a single day through forced quantum tunneling. The evidence against Earth is clear, announced a tall, spindly alien with 6 arms, each holding a different data device. Human warships entered the Proxima neutral zone. On the 7th rotation of the current cycle, they engaged and destroyed 3 Vrel scout ships, killing 17 Vrel warriors. A holographic display appeared above the central platform showing grainy footage of Earth Alliance vessels firing upon smaller organic-looking ships. This is a violation of compact law, continued the 6-armed prosecutor. The penalty is severe restriction of human expansion rights for no less than 500 years and demilitarization of all colonial assets. Gasps echoed from the Earth observation section, where a small contingent of human diplomats watched helplessly from the public gallery. The punishment would effectively end human space colonization, trapping their growing population in an already overcrowded solar system. Overseer Olivia began again with respect. The evidence presented is incomplete. High Judge Zorix's crystalline form pulsed with what might have been irritation. Do you deny the presence of Earth ships in the neutral zone, Humano Overseer? But I request the Council view the complete sensor logs. Not this edited footage. Impossible. Declared the prosecutor. The evidence was provided by Vrel authorities and verified by Council security. A new voice joined the discussion, quiet but commanding. As a small figure moved forward from one of the upper platforms, "I believe we should hear the human defense." All eyes turned to the newcomer, a being that appeared almost childlike with pale blue skin and enormous eyes that seemed to contain swirling galaxies within them. Advocate Tara, the overseer, acknowledged with noticeable hesitation, "The witnesses do not typically intervene in council proceedings." The small alien Tara smiled, gently. "Yet here I stand. Justice requires complete information, does it not?" The chamber fell silent. The witnesses were among the oldest and most respected species in the galaxy, though they rarely participated in political matters. High Judge Xorix's crystalline form dimmed slightly in deference. "Proceed." Advocate Olivia felt a surge of hope as Tara floated down to the central platform beside her. "Thank you," Tara said simply. "Ambassador, please present your evidence." Olivia activated her own data device. "Earth requests permission to access the Council's quantum network for evidence transmission." "Granted," said the overseer. After a moment's consultation with other high officials, Olivia interfaced her device with the Council system immediately. The holographic display above them shifted, showing a different perspective of the same encounter. "This is the complete sensor log from the EAS horizon," she explained as the footage played. The Vrel ships were not scouts, but attack vessels that had already disabled 2 human colony transports. The footage clearly showed the organic Vrel ships firing first on unarmed civilian vessels before the Earth warships arrived. Furthermore, Olivia continued, these events occurred not in the neutral zone, but in designated human territory according to treaty boundaries established 3 years ago. "Impossible," declared the prosecutor. "The boundaries were never formalized." Advocate Tara's eyes swirled with dark patterns. "Curious," she said, "May I?" With a gesture of her small hand, Tara accessed the council archives directly, a feat few were permitted. Suddenly, a new holographic document appeared floating above them all. "This appears to be a ratified boundary agreement bearing the quantum signatures of both Earth and Vrel representatives." Tara observed, her voice mild, but the implication damning. The council chamber erupted in confused conversation, while the Vrel delegation shifted uncomfortably on their platform high. Judge Xorix raised his crystalline appendages. "For silence, explain this discrepancy," he demanded of the Vrel representatives. The lead Vrel, a massive insectoid being with chitinous armor and compound eyes, clicked its mandibles nervously. "There was a clerical error in filing the treaty boundaries. We're pending final approval." Tara tilted her head, her expression unreadable yet somehow powerful. "I find no record of any objection or amendment request in the archives, only a completed treaty with all required signatures." Olivia watched in amazement as the seemingly fragile witness effortlessly dismantled the case against Earth. Furthermore, Tara continued accessing more records. "There have been 17 separate incursions by Vrel ships into human territory over the past standard year, all documented by Earth and filed with the Council's Border Authority. Yet no action was taken." All eyes turned to the Border Authority representatives, a group of tall avian beings who suddenly seemed intensely interested in their data screens. High Judge Xorix's crystalline structure pulsed with darker colors. "Border Authority, explain this discrepancy." The lead avian rose reluctantly. "The complaints were received, but classified as minor infractions, not worthy of council attention." Tara's eyes swirled. "Faster, is it standard procedure to classify armed attacks on civilian vessels as minor infractions?" "No." Advocate admitted the border official. The Vrel representative rose again, clicking angrily. "The humans are newcomers to space. They do not understand the complexities of galactic politics. Their territory includes access to 3 major quantum tunneling nodes that have historically been under Vrel control," said Tara. "So this is about the tunneling nodes, not border violations." Olivia seized the opening with respect. "High Judge, the quantum tunneling nodes were assigned to Earth territory in the formal treaty, precisely because we demonstrated the technological capability to maintain and secure them, a responsibility the Vrel had neglected for centuries, according to council records." More murmurs spread through the chamber, many now sounding supportive of the human position. Advocate Tara turned to address the full council. "I believe we have uncovered the true nature of this dispute. The Vrel seek to reclaim valuable transit points through political means. Having failed to maintain them properly, The edited evidence and improper classification of human complaints suggest a coordinated effort to undermine Earth's legitimate territorial claims. The council overseer's voice betrayed concern. Are you suggesting a conspiracy? Advocate Terra smiled that gentle yet powerful smile. I merely observe patterns, High Judge Zorix. What do the laws of evidence require when presentation has been proven incomplete? Zorix's crystalline form brightened. The case must be dismissed and a full investigation launched. The Vrel delegation chittered in angry protest, but fell silent when the High Judge turned toward them. The Vrel delegation will remain at council headquarters pending investigation into evidence tampering, a serious offense. Olivia maintained her diplomatic composure, though relief flooded through her. The council overseer addressed her formally. Ambassador Taylor, the complaint against Earth is dismissed with prejudice. The council extends its formal apology for this proceeding. Earth's territorial claims are hereby reaffirmed, and the border authority will be restructured to prevent future negligence. Thank you, Overseer, Olivia replied, bowing deeply. Earth seeks only peaceful relations with all species, including the Vrel. We hope this matter can be resolved diplomatically. As the formal session concluded, the human observation gallery erupted in cheers while delegates from various worlds approached to introduce themselves to the Earth ambassador, many seemingly impressed by humanity's dignified handling of the situation. Advocate Tara approached Olivia privately as they exited the chamber. You conducted yourself well, human. Olivia smiled gratefully. Why did you intervene, Advocate? If I may ask, the witnesses rarely involve themselves in council politics. Tara's eyes snub. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with tension as Ambassador Maria Vega stepped onto the central platform. Her heart pounding beneath her formal Earth uniform. Behind her stood 3 other humans. The entire diplomatic corps, Earth, could muster for the most important hearing in human history. She felt thousands of alien eyes studying her from the tiered seating that rose in concentric rings toward a ceiling so high it disappeared in artificial mist. Today the council votes on Petition 7249. Boomed the massive central AI, its holographic form shifting between representations of the founding species. We will determine if humanity receives full membership or remains under probationary status. Maria glanced at her team. Dr. William Carter, their xenobiology expert, Commander Grace Foster, their military liaison, and Jake Rivera, their cultural specialist, all wore expressions of careful neutrality, masking the anxiety they shared. The first speaker, a towering being composed of swirling bioluminescent gases contained within a transparent exosuit, floated forward. Earth has completed its 50-year probationary period as the youngest spacefaring species to petition for council membership. We will now hear final arguments. Before the vote, Maria stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. Honorable Council, Earth thanks you for this opportunity to address the Assembly before this historic decision. A derisive sound echoed from the Draconian section, where the reptilian delegates watched with obvious disdain. Their species had opposed human membership from the beginning. Maria continued undeterred. 50 years ago, humanity was unknown to the galactic community. Today, we have established peaceful relations with 67 species, contributed significant medical and technological innovations to the shared knowledge base, and faithfully adhered to all council regulations. True called out a crystalline being from the upper tiers. But humanity remains dangerously unpredictable. Your biological and cultural evolution has proceeded at an alarming rate compared to established species. The chamber filled with murmurs of agreement from conservative factions. Maria nodded, acknowledging the concern. Our adaptive nature is precisely what makes humanity a valuable addition to the Council. We offer new perspectives, approaches that more established civilizations might not consider. Ambassador Zorak of the Draconian Imperium rose, his scales gleaming under the chamber, lights perspectives that could destabilize millennia of careful balance. The humans reproduce, expand, and innovate at disturbing rates. If granted full membership rights, they would overwhelm established territories within centuries. Fear rippled through sections of the chamber, while others nodded in agreement. Dr. Carter stepped forward, addressing the concern directly with respect. Ambassador Zorak, demographic projections indicate human population growth is already stabilizing, as is typical for Technological civilizations our expansion rate falls well within. Council guidelines lies hissed Zorak. Humans hide their true numbers and intentions. The central AI pulsed with authority order will be maintained. Delegates will speak when recognized. Maria maintained her composure. Despite the hostility, Honorable Council, we acknowledge concerns about our rapid development. It is precisely why we have voluntarily restricted our colonial expansion to designated sectors, despite having the capability to settle more worlds. A new voice joined the discussion as Ambassador Lyra of the Eldarum stepped forward, her crystalline form catching light in hypnotic patterns. I have observed humans closely during their probationary period, she announced. While they are indeed adaptive and unpredictable, these qualities have repeatedly benefited Council interests. Murmurs of surprise rippled through the chamber. The ancient Eldarum rarely spoke in open session when the Mikari plague threatened the Orion sector, continued Lyra. It was human medical researchers who developed the cure. When negotiations with the collective reached impasse, human diplomats found the compromise that saved billions of lives. Their unpredictability has proven an asset, not a liability. Several delegates nodded in agreement while others conferred among themselves. Zorak rose again dramatically. The Draconian delegation requests a full security assessment. Before any vote, humans have engaged in warfare throughout their history. Their planet bears the scars of nuclear conflict. Their literature glorifies. Combat Commander Foster stepped forward respectfully. That assessment already exists. Ambassador Zorak. It was completed by Council Security Division last cycle and found no unusual security concerns regarding Earth. Our military forces remain well below authorized levels for our population and territory. The Central AI confirmed this assessment is part of the official record. Maria recognized a shift in the Chamber's mood and pressed the advantage. Earth comes before you, not seeking special treatment but equal partnership. We have fulfilled every requirement established for membership, demonstrated our commitment to peaceful cooperation, and contributed meaningfully to galactic welfare. The first speaker floated forward. The time for debate has ended. Delegates will now vote on human membership. Each species has one vote regardless of population or territorial holdings, as established in the founding. Charter tension filled the chamber as voting commenced, each delegation registering their decision via the central AI voting blocks, formed quickly as expected, with progressive species supporting Earth, while conservative factions opposed. Maria watched the holographic tally with outward calm, though her heart raced as the numbers climbed toward the required two-thirds majority for acceptance. The vote was closer than they had hoped. The Arcturian delegation has not registered their decision, announced the central AI. All others have voted. All eyes turned to the shadowy alcove where the reclusive Arcturians sat. These ancient beings rarely participated in council proceedings, but their single vote now held the balance of humanity's future ambassador. Nor of the Arcturians finally rose, a tall, willowy figure with skin that seemed to absorb, rather than reflect, light. The oldest known species in the galaxy, watched by all with reverence. The chamber fell completely silent as Nor spoke in a voice like distant thunder. We have observed humanity with great interest. Their brief existence represents but a single moment in our memory. Yet in that moment, they have shown remarkable qualities. Maria held her breath as Noor continued. Humans possess something rare in evolved species, continued the ancient being. The capacity to change their minds when presented with new evidence, to adapt, not just physically but philosophically. This trait alone makes them valuable to a council that has perhaps grown too rigid in its thinking. Gasps echoed through the chamber at this unprecedented criticism from the revered Arcturians. Before we vote, Nor announced, I would ask the human ambassador one question. Please, Ambassador. Maria replied, her voice steady. Despite the pressure, Nor's depthless eyes seemed to look through her to humanity's very essence if granted membership. What does Earth hope to accomplish within the greater galactic community? Maria felt the weight of the question, understanding that her answer would determine humanity's fate. She took a deep breath and spoke from the heart. What we hope to accomplish, Ambassador Noor, is to learn to contribute and to help forge a future where diversity of thought and approach is seen as strength, not weakness, she began. Humans are indeed adaptable because our history has taught us that rigidity leads to extinction, while cooperation and exchange lead to growth. She continued with growing confidence. We hope to serve as bridge builders between established species whose ancient differences have calcified into unchangeable positions. We hope to contribute our unique perspective while learning from the wisdom of species like your own, whose experience spans millions of years. Maria's voice grew stronger. Humanity stands at a crossroads between our past and our potential. We recognize that membership is not merely a privilege, but a profound responsibility. We do not seek to remake the galaxy in our image, but to find our place within the magnificent tapestry that already exists, adding our thread to the pattern without disturbing its fundamental beauty. The chamber remained utterly silent as she finished. Nor stood motionless for a long moment, then inclined his ancient head. The Arcturian delegation votes in favor of human membership, the central AI announced immediately. Petition 7249 has passed. Earth is granted full membership in the Galactic Council, with all rights and responsibilities therein. The chamber erupted. In a mixture of reactions, celebration from Earth's allies, concern from conservatives, and thoughtful silence from many of the elder species. Maria allowed herself a small smile as she exchanged glances with her team. They had done it. Humanity had secured its place among the stars. As the formal ceremony concluded, delegates approached to offer congratulations or, in some cases, thinly veiled warnings. Zorak passed by with a final hiss. This is not finished. Human, your kind will prove us right. Eventually, Ambassador Lyra of the Eldarim approached next, her crystalline form shimmering well-spoken. Ambassador Vega, the real work begins now. Your species faces many challenges ahead. Maria nodded in agreement. We welcome those challenges, Ambassador, and the opportunity to prove ourselves worthy of the Council's trust as the Earth delegation prepared to depart. Nor of the Arcturians appeared beside them, suddenly causing Jake to jump in surprise. Your answer was unexpected, Human Nor said to Maria. Most species speak of power or resources. When asked such questions, you spoke of cooperation and learning.